Good morning from Weymouth. So I am up bright and early because my body's decided that it's time to wake up at 5 a.m. these days. So decided to head out a little earlier than I'd initially planned. I'm currently walking to the train station to get where I'm going. So I'm going to do sections of the Southwest Coast path in Dorset, which is where I am. It's like the county. So, oh, brain's not awake yet. So I'm going to a little village called Kingston, and then I'm going to walk down to the path from that. This stretch that's like east of Weymouth doesn't really have bus access to the actual path. Like, there's towns that are a little inland, and then you can walk out from them. It's a pretty remote area in terms of like villages along the path and stuff. So I'm doing a stretch today from Kingston to hopefully get back to Swanage. I think it's supposed to be about 10 miles or so, but the elevation's not supposed to be terrible, and it's mostly supposed to be in the first bit of it. So we'll see if that's true. But I have to take a train and then a bus to get to Kingston because it's so early in the morning. So unless I wanted to get there at like 11 o'clock, I can't take just buses. So I'm gonna catch a train to Whelmed and then a bus to Kingston. Well, I'm at the train station waiting for the train. I feel like the math doesn't math with how long it takes me to get here from where I'm staying. It takes me like a 20-minute walk, but it says it's a half mile. I've never been a 20-minute half mile. I feel like there's something wrong with that, but yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm thinking about getting like just an in-town bus pass because I don't want to walk 20 miles or 20 minutes and then walk on the path for like 11 miles, 10 miles, and then come back and walk another 20 minutes just to get back. I remember this being an issue when I was in Weymouth. Like, it's the one thing that just kind of like, the town is so spread out that to walk everywhere, like if I was just coming and like sightseeing and stuff, like, yeah, sure, I can do a 20-minute walk, no problem. But when I'm on a walking holiday, I kind of like don't want to have to put in any additional mileage. So I might just get an in-town bus pass so that I can avoid that. Here I am in Kingston. It's this teeny tiny little hamlet. See a little better now. So I'm gonna go walk down to the coast and we'll start our Southwest Coast Path adventure for the year. I still made these. It's an actual red telephone booth that is still an actual telephone. That's okay. Mile and a half. That's what I mean about how everything is far back and you gotta walk out or camp along the way, which is not my thing. Okay, I was just about to start that mile and a half down to the beach. You can see this is where I'm at, like right there. And I was gonna go down to here to start the path. But there's this notice that says due to landslips, this little section is closed. So I was walking down to do this and then go on. But clearly I cannot do that. So I'm gonna, instead of going down this, so this is what I was talking about when I was on the Isle of Wight, is that the coastal route that I was doing here, they'd have things like this and there'd be no signage until like you were literally like here, there would be the sign. So then you have to walk all the way back. So this is what I like about the Southwest Coast Path, is that this is where the signage is, like before I committed to a mile and a half out and then a mile and a half back. Okay, so now I have to figure out how to get to like basically here and like avoid that. Just a glimpse of the water and I'm about a mile in. Guys are so excited. It's kind of adorable. Oh, they were not expecting that jump. Hi, moo cows. They know they're supposed to gather over here. Hi, cows. Apparently I'm sharing the path with some sheep or something. It's my first official sign on the path. And you can see there's the diversion route. It's telling you this is the way you should be going. So off we go up there. I know we'll meet many river valleys. Check. This is the area that's closed right now because of landslips. You can see a little bit right over there, landslip. But yeah, so if you're coming from that way, you have to walk in and then back out and up the way that I did. I just came from there and went out. So in a couple of days, when I do the section going that way, I'll just go in. Oh, super pretty though. The Isle of Portland in the distance. I don't know if you can see it, but that little white dot right at the edge, that's the Portland Bell, which is the lighthouse. And that is connected to Weymouth by Chisel Beach, which is this like really rocky spit. These are wheat fields, and this looks like escaped wheat. So that looks painful, the stairs. I'm sure there's corresponding ones on this side, so that's fun. River Valley number 2. And there's some sort of marathon that goes up and down these hills. I mean, never, not even at the top. Little break with this view. Shoes off, feet up, apple, bench. Not too shabby. Keep going in though. Well, let's test out these shoes, I guess, because everyone else is going way up and around, but I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm a little muddy, but so far so dry. So onward. Well, I just found this little bit of shade I'm standing in. It's very warm. I was gonna go down to the dancing ledge, but there's definitely a sign that's like, caution, landslips. You know, we advise you not to go down there. And it looks like the tide is coming in at the same time. So I'm like, those things together seem like I should listen and not go down there. So it's also completely exposed, bright sun above light colored rock, so it's all reflecting. So I'm sure it's quite warm down there anyway. So I'm gonna have a few minute breather in the shade here and then continue on. Hope to find some sort of bench at some point to have a bit of a rest. See, everything's in a mile or two, so just me in the path for the next 5 or so miles. Okay, sun was starting to get to me a little bit, so took a break. Fortunately, there's no shade to take a break in, but I held this thing up and made a little shade. Drank some water, and now put this on to hopefully help with the sun a little bit. It's helping a little right now, so yeah, pace myself, make sure to drink water, all those things. But whew, the complete exposure is just an entirely different ball game. Even if when it's not that hot, even when there's a breeze, it's still, you're in the sun all day when you do this path. So got my sunscreen and try to remember to be chill about this. Like, if I don't make a certain point, that's fine, as long as there's a bus connection. Like last year I was so intent on like making my mileage that I think my body suffered a little bit. Also my like enjoyment level suffered a little bit. So here's to hoping we can prevent that this time. To the Dorset National Nature Reserve, which I think means I have a little over 3 miles left to get to Swanage. Whelmed Caves, apparently. More excited to see a coffee cup on a sign. Chances are that means you have cold stuff too. Also, I'm pretty sure that's the Isle of Wight out there. The white bits. That is probably where I was the other day, going to see the needles. And that means that what I was looking at was definitely where I am now. That's kind of cool. Apparently the Whelmed Caves are old limestone quarries. See more of them down there. I made it to the castle. I would love to be done right now, but I have 2 miles left. If there was a bus here, I would catch it. There's not. So I'm gonna go 2 miles towards Swanage. I did get my towel wet. It's like a cooling towel. And I got a Coke. So hopefully that will help with some sugar and stuff in my system. So, well, actually I got a Pepsi. I'm kind of annoyed by it, but beggars can't be choosers. So here we are. Okay, on the bench, drink my soda. Look at the Isle of Wight. Try to rehydrate. Well, I feel like a different person. I had that Pepsi. I sat in the shade. I'm like walking in the shade now. And I had a protein bar. And my cooling towel is wet and doing its thing. And the path is like real chill now because it's just like a walking path into Swanage. No problem. Well, there was clearly a problem, but now there is no problem. I am fine. So apparently I just, like a plant, needed to be watered and fed. So please note this sign. Avoiding steps to Swanage. And that one's via the steps to Swanage. I'm gonna be avoiding the steps to Swanage, so thank you for that sign, people. I love the Southwest Coast path, people, because just as I was like, which direction do I go? There's a sign. Thank you. I'm gonna explore Paraval Point and the Downs Local Nature Reserve. So, and then Swanage is like there. Oh, there's a picture. See? So I think I'm like here. So that, back to there. And that is Swanage. I'm gonna do that, I think, tomorrow, the next little bit. It's a Paraval Point. And I think that's the like Hairy Rocks or whatever it's called. But I'll be closer tomorrow to see them. But so now I just have to walk into town. 99 time. Man, they're always like a 7.5. Exactly the same. That's what I love right now. This all day. Lovely. Well, I put my feet in the water and now I think it's time to find a bus to take me home. Swanage is cute. I was briefly thinking about staying here for a couple of days. I'm a little sad they didn't actually. Like, the part I'm saying is like, it's nice that I have my own space and I don't have to like move, but I don't know. I might like moving every 3-ish days. We'll find out. But if I had it to do over again, I might have tried to stay here for 2 or 3 days and then stay in Weymouth for 2 or 3 days. But I don't. So I'll be out tomorrow. I'm gonna walk the last little section there that takes you to actually the end of the path. And I think I'm gonna start at the end and then walk back to Swanage and then spend some time in the afternoon, because it's like 300 miles of, or 300 feet of elevation and like 8 miles, I think, assuming Google is correct. So that shouldn't be too terrible. I can do that in the morning, and then maybe get back here a little after lunch and spend a few hours in the afternoon wandering around, spend some time on the beach. Whelmed. I should have stayed on the bus. The train I was going to catch, which was going to give me like a 12-minute layover, got canceled. The next one is running about 15 minutes late, and the restrooms are locked. So I'm going to go walk into town to use a restroom, since it's probably going to be like an hour until the train gets here, assuming it shows up. And eventually I'll make my way back to Weymouth, where I'll then have to walk like 20 minutes to get back to my Airbnb. So this evening was just really trying to put the mileage on for me. It was the least satisfying search ever. I ended up going into this Sainsbury's, but all of the public toilets are locked. It's like they're closed after a certain time, I think. So I've walked the entire length of Whelmed, and I'm gonna walk back to the train station, and hopefully a train will show up. Let's find out.